Hello and welcome to Center Stage by Creative Media Marketing. I'm your host, Russ Painter, and it's my pleasure today to introduce you to my good friend, Anna Latona. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Russ?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Today we're here to talk about her business as a counselor, and so I'm curious, how did you first feel like you wanted to get into this line of work, this particular vocation?
Yeah, so people always have come and just talked to me, and maybe they felt comfortable with me, that I was approachable. I mean, I'm not really sure why, but so I set out to be a life coach.
Okay.
And so since my master's is in sports medicine and exercise physiology, the niche was basically on, exercise wellness. And then, I switched over to being a career coach because I've had so many careers and I've been stuck in jobs that I didn't like. And I realized that, I could help other people.
Right.
However, the thing is about it is I was seeing that people were stuck when it came to, they're reaching their goals as a life coach, in wellness as well as their career. And so I decided to kind of come up with a different venue, and that became counseling.
Okay.
And since I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus Christ, and I feel like, I went to school to be a licensed pastoral counselor, and that's how I arrived at that. So it kind of snowballed from life coaching into counseling.
Okay.
To get people unstuck.
All right.
Yeah.
So is there a specific area of counseling that you want to talk about today?
Well, my focus is on temperament counseling, and that's kind of I'd say it's unique.
Okay. Well, I think it would be good to define that for folks that maybe have never heard of that particular style.
Yeah, well, I didn't hear of it before I started to actually get into it and study a lot. So temperament counseling is your inner man has, needs, we want to call it our soulish realm, right?
Yeah.
And so God has a way of balancing that inner man through the Holy Spirit, but counselors, we come and we, try to help people strike a balance between three, I want to call them sections. So your socialization and then control, how much you want to control somebody else and how much you want people to control you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so it was very interesting to me. But the third one was about affection, the area of affection, like how much affection do you want people to have with you? Some people are touchy-feely, some people that, they're very resistant. Right. And so, that area is the third area. So you take what's called an APS, Arnold Profile System Questionnaire, and that's
a what now?
Yeah, so it's called Arnold Profile.
Arno.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a Dr. Arno, and he's the head of the some of the programs. So the point being is that it's 18 questions. Mm-hmm. You can test children. They would have to be 7 years old to be tested, and an adolescent. That's obviously the less questions. But that's how you actually get the results of a temperament test.
Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
There you go.
So when you look at this realm of counseling, what sort of challenges that people are facing that this can actually help them with?
Well, all areas, marriage counseling. I have a lot of married people that I counsel that are having trouble in their marriage. Usually the woman comes to me first.
No, really? I'm shocked.
Yeah, well, don't be shocked because the men don't seem to, they have much of a problem. So, that's a problem right there. Yeah.
We are definitely not as relational as our wives. There's no question about it.
Well, yeah, and then there's people that are single and they desire so much to be married and they're lonely. And, we have to come back to who our friend is, and that's Jesus. So, you may not eliminate all your loneliness in life. I mean, some married people are lonely, right?
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So, but loneliness is an issue, and we do pray, and we do skills. We work with the skills as a pastoral counselor. And
Now you're talking relational skills?
Yeah, relational, like conflict resolution.
Okay.
And then, of course, if you have an adolescent, they're still dealing with, their self-esteem, issues related to self-esteem.
Not to mention huge hormonal changes.
Oh, yeah, sure. And then the brain isn't fully developed. And so there's a lot, so I'm saying that I can work with adolescents as well as a child. Again, they have to be 7 years old in order to take the test.
Got it.
But I have combined my skills of occupational therapy with the pastoral counseling for children who have behavioral problems.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So as an occupational therapist, usually people kind of focus on a skill of sensory integration. But I think sometimes there's a little bit more to the behavior than just, a sensory. It has to do with, how you're brought up and your temperament. So that's what we kind of go back to.
Oh, so you're able to really go deeper into helping figure out, really what's going on in a child's life, and that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's fun too. I really have a passion for that. I think that's the one thing about when I started to talk about career counseling. I decided that really this was my niche. Combining the occupational therapy with the pastoral counseling. And I'll just give you an example.
Sure.
So I had one child who had what's called an IEP. It's an individual plan that that's given out by the school system. Okay, so and he had a lot of behavioral issues. So of course they call in the occupational therapist, and they did sensory, but the child really wasn't still behaving. So I I was able to come into the setting where we did a lot of talking. I used Play-Doh.
Okay,
so Play-Doh, so we made little men, and I realized the child had so much anger with the Play-Doh. Okay, it was only,
Sure.
So with the father.
Okay.
And then also issues. I found that he would bring the Play-Doh close to him when he was dealing with the mother. So apparently he, I'm not one to to interpret everything, but I'd say he had perhaps father issues, but really did well with the mother. It's just a general thought, but I'm just saying,
better to beat up Play-Doh than somebody else, right? Let's be real.
Yeah. So so I thought that was just a unique way to have him express himself through Play-Doh. Some people do play therapy. I'm not specifically a play therapist, but I use the counseling skills to see if we could talk a little bit about that issue. And we were able to talk. The child was able to talk. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Wow. So you're bringing in a lot of different tools into your bag of tricks, and that's an awesome thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what would you say, are you most passionate about in this line of service that you have for people?
Well, my passion is really to see people have a balanced life and get unstuck.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it.
Yeah, well, a lot of folks, I think, are struggling with that, especially in today's environment. So that's a pretty amazing thing. So I think folks would probably like to know in a general way what people could expect to pay for this type of a service.
Well, yeah, the going rate is usually around $80 an hour. However, I don't take insurance, and I like to help and accommodate people. That's where my heart is. Okay. So things are negotiable, like with that. Right. Yeah.
That's good to know. So what's the best way that folks can contact you for help?
Yeah, so I have a phone number I can give out and an email.
Let's do the email.
Let's do the email. Okay.
That way they can contact you, and you can, decide if you want to give them your number.
Okay, so the email is onevoiceanna@gmail.com.
All right, onevoiceanna@gmail.com. Great. So any final thoughts that you'd like to share before we say goodbye?
Well, I like to think that I'm approachable, and people go to different avenues and spend a lot of money trying to get unstuck, trying to deal with their children's behavioral issues. And I think the temperament counseling as an objective measurement, there's actually a lot of evidence saying that people have changed through that. I mean, subjectively, their feelings are being, take it into consideration and validate it.
Okay.
So I say, if I had any last thoughts, it'd be give it a try.
Give it a try.
Give it a try.
Yeah. Yep, sounds like that would be good advice.
Yeah, that's.
And having known Anna for a number of years, yes, she is very approachable. So, well, thanks so much for joining us today on Center Stage. Thank you for watching, and look forward to doing it again in the near future.
Yeah, thank you, Russ.